Greetings and salutations. This is the Adjutant. And today I want to talk to you about one of the most overlooked military wealth strategies in life today. Not the TSP by itself, not BAH by itself, not the pension by itself, not VA benefits by themselves, not even the GI Bill by itself. I want to talk to you about the strategy that sits underneath all of those things. The strategy most military families are never really taught, and that is this. Military wealth is not built by, just collecting benefits. Military wealth is built by coordinating benefits. That is the line. That is the difference. Because a lot of families have access to benefits. A lot of families receive BAH. A lot of families have SGLI. A lot of families have access to the TSP. A lot of families have TRICARE. A lot of families have education benefits. A lot of families eventually deal with VA compensation, military retirement, survivor planning, and all the other pieces. But access is not the same thing as strategy. And that is where many military families get hurt. Not because they do not care, not because they are irresponsible, not because they are not working hard, but because nobody ever set them down and said, here is how all the pieces fit together. Now, let me say this plainly, folks. The overlooked wealth strategy for military families is building a household system, not just a budget, not just a savings account, not just put money in TSP, a system, a family financial operating system, because military life is not normal life. You have PCS moves, you have deployments, you have spouse employment interruptions, you have housing decisions, you have separation risk, you have retirement decisions, you have children's education decisions, you have benefit elections that may only come around at certain moments. And if you do not build a system, military life will make financial decisions for you. And usually it will not make them in your favor. Now, when I say wealth strategy, I'm not talking about just trying to look rich. I'm not talking about buying a bigger truck every time you get promoted. I'm not talking about pretending BAH is free money. I'm not talking about lifestyle inflation every time the LES changes. I'm talking about the quiet, disciplined, grown-up strategy of turning military stability into family stability. That means the household has to think in layers. Layer 1, protection. Layer 2, cash flow. Layer 3, investing. And layer 4 is education. Layer 5 is retirement. Layer 6, transition. And layer 7 is legacy. Most families only focus on 1 or 2 layers, but wealth is built when all 7 of these work together, okay? Now let's start with protection. Before military families can build wealth, it has to protect the household. That means emergency savings. That means proper insurance. That means understanding SGLI. That means knowing what happens if the service member is injured, medically retired, or passes away. That means the spouse knows where the documents are. That means both people understand the accounts. That means the family is not financially dependent on one person being the only one who understands the money. This is an uncomfortable to talk about, but it is necessary. Because one of the biggest mistakes military families make is letting one person carry all the financial knowledge. The service member knows the pay, the spouse handles the household, or the spouse knows the bills, and the service member just knows the LES, but nobody has the whole picture. That is dangerous. A military family should have monthly money meetings, not a fight, not a blame session, not a panic session, a meeting. What came in, what went out, what we are saving, what we are investing, what debts are we attacking, what benefits are we using, what decisions are coming up. That one habit alone can change the direction of a household. Now, let's talk about cash flow. Military pay can be powerful because it is structured. You have base pay, BAS, special pays, allowances, all of those things working together. You also have tax advantages, but that structure can become a trap if the family treats every dollar as spendable. The overlooked strategy is assigning a mission to every part of the income. Base pay covers the core household. BAH supports housing strategy. BAS supports food. Special pays should not automatically become lifestyle money. Bonuses should not disappear into random spending. Tax advantages should create margin, and promotions should create wealth, not just bigger payments. Now, here's a principle I want military families to remember. Every promotion should increase your net worth before it increases your lifestyle. Let's say that again, okay? Every promotion should increase your net worth before it increases your lifestyle. Because if every raise becomes a car payment, a bigger house, a nicer vacation, or a more expensive lifestyle, the family can serve 20 years and still feel broke. That is not because the military gave them nothing. It's because the money had no mission. Now, let's talk about BAH. BAH is one of the most misunderstood tools in military life. Some families treat it like income, some treat it like free money, some stretch it to maximize because they want the nicest house they can afford. But the smarter question is not how much house can we afford? The smarter question is how can our housing decisions support our long-term family strategy? Sometimes that means renting below BAH and saving the difference. Sometimes that means buying carefully. Sometimes that means not buying because the PCS cycle does not support it. And sometimes that means buying a home that can later become a rental. Sometimes that means avoiding a house that looks good emotionally but creates pressure financially. BAH can build wealth, but only if it is handled with discipline. All right? Now let's talk about investing. Now, for military families, the TSP is often the foundation, but many families only think about the TSP as something the service member does. That is too small. The real question is, what is the household investing strategy? Is the service member contributing to TSP? Is the spouse building retirement assets too? Are the Roth IRAs being considered where appropriate? Is the family avoiding unnecessary debt? Is the family building taxable investments after the basics are handled? Is the family investing raises instead of spending every raise? This is where military families can quietly separate themselves, not overnight, not dramatically, but steady. And time in the market is one of the most powerful wealth-building forces available. Now let's talk about the spouse. This may be the most overlooked part of the whole conversation. Military family wealth is not just about the service member, surprise, surprise, it's about the household. And military spouses often carry a heavy burden. Moves interrupt careers. Developments and deployment shift responsibilities. Childcare becomes complicated. Licensing can become difficult. Employment gaps happen. And sometimes the family unconsciously treats the spouse's career as secondary. That can become very expensive over time, not just emotionally, financially. A spouse's income, career, growth, retirement contributions, business, education, or professional development can become one of the strongest wealth-building tools in the household. So the question should not be, how does the spouse fit around the military career? The better question is, how does the family build a plan that honors both futures? That may mean remote work. It may mean portable credentials. It may mean entrepreneurship. It may mean using education benefits wisely. It may mean choosing duty stations and housing decisions with the spouse's employment in mind when possible. It may mean building a saving cushion so that the spouse does not have to take the first available job after every move. Military families should not ignore the spouse's earning power. That is part of the wealth strategy. Now let's talk about education benefits. The GI Bill can be one of the most powerful family wealth tools available, but is often treated as a simple benefit instead of a strategic asset. Who should use it? The service member? The spouse? The children? Should it be transferred? Are the service obligations understood? Are state benefits available? Are scholarships still being pursued? Is the family assuming the GI Bill covers everything when it may not? Education benefits should be planned years in advance because when used wisely, they can reduce or eliminate student loan debt. And avoiding debt is wealth. Now, let me say this again. Avoiding debt is wealth. If your child graduates with little or no student loan debt because your family planned well, that is not just a benefit. That is, folks, is what we call generational advantage. Now, let's talk about retirement. Many military families focus on the 20-year pension, and yes, the pension matters. It can be powerful, but the pension should not be the whole plan. A pension is income. It is not complete wealth. The strategy by itself, the family still needs investments. The family still needs cash reserves. The family still needs insurance planning. The family still needs tax planning. The family still needs transition plan. The family still needs to understand the survivor benefits. The family still needs to know what happens if the service member leaves before 20 years. This is where many families get surprised. They think the pension will solve everything. But then retirement comes and they realize housing, healthcare, taxes, debt, inflation, and family responsibility still exist. So the better approach is this. Use the pension as a foundation. Do not use it as an excuse to avoid building assets. And for those of y'all who do not make it to 20, this matters even more because not everybody retires from the military. Some leave after 4 years, some leave at 8, some leave at 12, some leave at 16. Some folks are medically separated, some change directions, some retired, some families decide the cost is just too high. So the question is not only what happens if we stay until retirement, the question is also what happens if we do not. That means the family should always be building portable wealth, portable skills, portable savings, portable investments, portable credentials, portable options, because the strongest military families are not just loyal, they are prepared. Now, let's talk about VA benefits. VA benefits can become part of the family's long-term financial picture, but they should never be treated casually. The most important thing a service member can do while still serving is document medical issues properly. No exaggeration, not exaggerating, no manufactured, not playing games. Document truthfully. Get treated. Keep records. Understand what is happening in your body because after service, documentation matters. And for families, this can affect healthcare, compensation, housing, education benefits, and long-term stability. But again, VA benefits should not be the plan by themselves. They are one part of the system. Now, let's talk about the family wealth meeting. This is where everything kind of comes together. Once a month, the family should sit down and review the 7 layers. Protection, cash flow, investing, education, retirement, transition, legacy. Ask simple questions. Do we have enough emergency savings? Are we carrying debt we need to attack? Are we contributing enough to retirement? Are we using benefits wisely? Are we preparing for the next PCS move? Are we protecting the spouse's career? Are our documents organized? Are we preparing for transition? Are we teaching our children how money works? Are we building assets or just building and buying things? That monthly meeting can become the command center for the family. And let me tell you something. That meeting may feel small, but small disciplined meetings over years can change the future of a household. Now I want to speak directly to the younger service members. Okay, come on in. Have a seat, folks. All right. If you are early in your career, do not wait until you are older to care about this. Do not wait until you're in E7 or O4 or close to retirement. Start now. Your greatest advantage is time. A young military family that starts early does not need to be perfect. They just need to be consistent. Save something. Invest something. Avoid stupid debt. Use BAH wisely. Do not let cars destroy your cash flow. Do not let lifestyle inflation eat every raise. Protect your family. Learn the system. Ask questions. Document your medical care. Build skills. Think ahead. You do not need to be rich today. You just need to be positioned. Now, for the mid-career families, the message is different. You may already have children. You may already have debt. You may already have PCS fatigue. But you may feel already like you should be further ahead. Do not get discouraged, all right? But do get serious. Mid-career is where the family has to tighten the system. You may still have enough time to make major progress, but you cannot keep drifting. This is the season to increase TSP contributions, clean up debt, protect the spouse's career path, review insurance, organize your records, plan education, think about whether staying to retirement makes sense, and stop making financial decisions based only on the next assignment. Now, for those close to retirement, the message is even more urgent. Retirement is not just a ceremony, it's a financial transition. You need to know what income is coming, what benefits continue, what benefits change, what healthcare looks like, what taxes may look like, what debt remains, what the spouse needs, what survivor planning looks like, what work you may do afterward, what VA documentation exists, what your housing plan is. The last few years before retirement are not the time to coast. They are the time to organize, because a messy transition can undo years of hard work. Now here's the truth. Military families have advantages, but those advantages are not automatic. A steady paycheck is an advantage. BAH can be an advantage. Healthcare can be an advantage. The TSP can be an advantage. The pension can be an advantage. The GI Bill can be an advantage. The VA benefits can be an advantage, but only if they are coordinated, only if they are understood, only if the family has a plan. Otherwise, these benefits come in, the benefits go out, and years later, the family wonders where the money went. So here's the overlooked wealth strategy. Stop thinking like a paycheck household. Start thinking like a command center household. Every dollar has a mission. Every benefit has a purpose. Every promotion has a plan. Every PCS has a financial review. Every major decision gets discussed. Every family member's future matters. That is how military families build wealth. Not with noise, not with hype, not with one magic trick, with structure, with discipline, with coordination, with time. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I wish I had started earlier, let me tell you something. Start now. Do not let regret become another delay. You cannot go back and fix year 1, But you can make your next different. You can organize the account. You can have the conversation. You can increase the contribution. You can reduce the debt. You can protect the household's future. You can document your records. You can make the next PCS move smarter. You can teach the children better. You can build the system, and once the system is built, the family starts moving differently, calmer, clearer, stronger. Because wealth is not just about money, it's about options. It's about peace. It is about not being trapped. It is about giving your spouse breathing room. It is about giving your children a better foundation. It is about leaving the military with more than memories and medals. It's about leaving with structure. And that is what too many military families overlook. They look for the one big thing, but the real power is in connecting the small things, the pay, the benefits, the housing, the investments, the spouse, the children, the retirement, the transition, the legacy, all of it together. That is strategy. And so there you have it. The wealth strategy military families overlook is not hidden because it's complicated. It is hidden because nobody teaches families to connect the pieces. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Build the system, coordinate the benefits, protect the household, invest for the future, and make military life serve your family's long-term mission. If this was helpful, I want you to watch the next video on the screen because it will help you think even deeper about how military members can build real wealth while still in uniform. This is the Adjutant, and I'll see you in the next one. I wish you all blessings and blessings. Shalom.